let's get started. So I am alone this month. Juanma abandoned me today. So I am on my own for this presentation of the Coastal Camino. I am Roland. I'm the director of CaminoWays. I also started this company a few years ago. We are specialists on the Camino de Santiago. We are the most trusted tour operator on the Camino de Santiago. People come to us directly to organize their trip, book their accommodation, their luggage transfer. We book nice, comfortable hotel. We also support you 24/7 when you are on your walk or if you are cycling. So we are a good company with nice people and available people. So the top route. So on this map, you see just the top route of the Camino. Those 5-6 routes represent 90% of all the pilgrim on the Camino. The Camino Frances, the big sticker there, the big kind of yellow sticker, is the most popular. It starts in France, in Saint-Jean-Pied-Port, and finish in Santiago de Compostela. That's the original, the classic Camino. That's, if you heard about the Camino, there's chances that you heard about the French way. That's the most popular. The second most popular is the Portuguese way. It starts in Lisbon and finish in Santiago de Compostela. That's the purple sticker there. We're gonna talk about the section from Porto to Santiago today. And then after the Norte, that's the one on the north, the blue sticker. Start in San Sebastian, finish in Santiago. It's the third most popular. We're gonna talk about one section of it today. The English way in red, start in Ferrol, finish in Santiago de Compostela, and the longest of all the Camino, start in Sevilla and finish in Santiago. It's the kind of orangey sticker called Via de la Plata. It's a nice one as well. Today we're going to talk about the 5 coastal ways on the Camino de Santiago. The Portuguese coastal, so that's number 1 on the map. I slightly put it inland on this map, but it's on the coast, okay? It's just because the map is not perfect. Number 2, it's an addition of late last year called the Sea of Arousa. It's a fantastic coastal walk connecting to the Portuguese way, and you have one of the day cruising on one of the sea channel. Very nice. The Finisterre way, this is the one that goes away from Santiago. So the Finisterre often is for people that have reached Santiago and want to continue their journey. It's just a few days walk to the coast and to the lighthouse of Finisterre and to a town called Muxia. The northern way, number 4 on the map there, it's along the coast, and the section on the coast that I'm going to talk about it today does not finish in Santiago. It starts in San Sebastian, but the coastal part is not finishing in Santiago. The Rota Vicentina, it's another pilgrimage. It's not a Camino pilgrimage, but it's along the coast south of Portugal, number 5. So let's start. I like to start by the Camino Portuguese Coastal. It's really the rising star. It's becoming quickly one of the most popular Camino. It's also one of the nicest Camino you can find. Just to situate it's north of Portugal. The walk starts in Porto and finishes in Santiago. You got 200 kilometers between Porto and Santiago, so you can do 14 walking days, about 2 weeks walking, or 7 days cycling. Or if you just 1 week walking, just to have 1 week walking, you can start in Vigo and do the last 7 walking days, or it would take you only 4 days cycling. The Portuguese Camino is really popular because you can see Santiago. You finish in Santiago de Compostela, and you got this amazing experience along the coast. The food is absolutely delicious, and you can experience 2 cultures: Spanish and the Galician Spanish culture, and the Portuguese culture. It's also very well marked, and if you decide to cycle it, there is good cycle paths as well, which are separated from the traditional walking paths as well. So a good option for families as well, because, well, it's not too difficult, it's not too much up and down. I've done it about 2 years ago with my family. Accommodation are fantastic. Some of them have swimming pool. Some of them are right on the coast as well, so you can go for a swim. It ticks a lot of boxes. Airplanes and flights are very easy. You can fly directly to Porto. Every airline would fly to Porto, or you fly to Santiago. If you start in Vigo, you fly in Santiago, and it just 40 minutes drive to Vigo. The second ways, little map on the right there. The second ways is the Sea of Arousa. So I had a little arrow, but it seems to have disappeared. It's on the map. It's just on the shadow of the cathedral. Okay, so it's very close to Santiago de Compostela. You can start this one in Vigo. If you remember my previous slide, Vigo is also on the Portuguese way. So it's a variation of the Portuguese way. So instead of following the traditional Portuguese way, you can take one of those peninsula and just basically walk around the peninsula from Vigo. So that would take you 7 days walking, 4 days cycling. It's a pure coastal walk as well, all the way. And there's not that many people. We just launched it basically late last year. It's late edition because it's really worth it. It's really beautiful. You finish in Santiago, you can get your pilgrim certificate, and the highlight of the tour is you got this 3 hours sailing. So you basically skip about 20 kilometers. You jump on this boat. If you have bicycle, that's fine. They're gonna take your bike, put it on the boat, and you arrive in Padron. So it's a nice one. The third coastal Camino is the Finisterre. So this one is partially along the coast, and you have 2 options. So the first option is leaving Santiago. You arrive in Finisterre, so it's the blue line. Okay. You get another certificate. So leaving Santiago, you arrive in Finisterre, you get what's called the Finisterra. It's certificate that proves that you reach Finisterre. It takes about 5 days walking or 3 days cycling to reach Finisterre. Or if you extend your walk to Muxia, that's the red line on the map, it would be 7 days walking, 4 days cycling. Muxia is the end, the ultimate end of the Camino. If you watch the movie of 2010 with Martin Sheen, that's where he finished his journey with the ashes of his son. It's actually it's also very nice. Um, the last 2 days you follow the cliffs, so it's a little bit up and down, but a real spectacular way. So that's the Finisterre. The number 4 on my list is the Camino del Norte. So it starts close to San Sebastian in Irun, but really the highlight is the first 200 kilometers. The highlight because you got some amazing city such as San Sebastian, really the food capital of Spain and almost of Europe. I think there's more Michelin star in San Sebastian than everywhere else in Europe or something like that. It's really amazing city. And you got as well on the itinerary Bilbao with the famous Guggenheim, and you have Santander, which is a lovely city as well. So if you were to do the full San Sebastian to Santander, that would take you 2 weeks across the Basque country. Or if you start in San Sebastian and Bilbao, that would take you only 7 days. The first part, the first 100 kilometers on this trip is quite difficult, so we don't generally recommend it to people that are not used to cycle, because there's a lot of up and down every day. So it's a tough one for cyclists. For the walkers, it's also tough, but obviously you don't have to push a bike going uphill or downhill, so it's much easier. The scenery is phenomenal on this one. The food is absolutely superb as well. And you got a lot of scenic place along the way, little villages to visit as well. And it's a pure traditional Basque, the pure traditional Basque country, such as the place that Picasso have painted on his famous painting Guernica. There is also Marquina, and it's really traditional food, language, and otherwise as well. So really recommend it. The last one on my presentation here is not a traditional Camino. It's another pilgrimage to the Cape St. Vincent at the very bottom of Portugal. So this one starts in Porto Covo. It's about 100 kilometers south of Lisbon, the capital city of Portugal. So you fly to Lisbon, then you take a short bus, you arrive in Porto Covo, and you basically follow the coast every day up to Sagres. It's a national park, so it's very little built. It's wild. It's not so easy because it's a little sandy under the foot, so it's a little bit difficult in some places, but it's really natural. It's natural. It's very adventurous, and there is literally few surfers and few hikers, so there's no bother on that particular one. So particularly scenic and very refreshing. And you reach the Cape. So if you do the full trip, that's also 2 weeks, or you can start midway and do just one week. I put also an option for cycling, but that's a really tough one for the cyclists. So you need to know what you want if you come cycling on the Rota Vicentina. The hotels, in the big city, we can upgrade you generally in like 4 or 5 star if you want to, but our preference always remain traditional 2, 3-star hotel with your own, of course, your own bathroom every day. Um, like medium-sized hotel, like maybe 10, 20, 30 rooms. We don't like big hotel because they lack character, and we like a certain standard as well of comfort, of nice rooms. We try as well to give you the countryside experience as much as possible. So, like farm stay accommodation when available, or what we call the country cottage, the rural accommodation. So that's really our preference, and trying to give you local food, local breakfasts, food, and the traditional dinners as well, as much as possible. That's our preferences. Um, but we're also conscious that if you're a cyclist or if you're a walker, you should not be walking or cycling too long after the walk is finished. So our hotels and all the accommodation are also centrally located. Um, so you're right in the center of the village. So if you want to go for a drink after the walk, well, you don't have to take a taxi or something. Okay, so we try as much as possible to put you in the center of things that happening. So on this slide is just a sample. Doramucho is on the French way, and few hotels here are a sample of what we offer. The one on the right is a Parador, so it's a kind of top of the Spanish style luxury. It's really traveling in time. It's really amazing. The best time to go, yeah. So most of the people travel during spring and autumn. So April, May, June, and September, October are the most popular time to go. So if you're planning those 2 times at the best, some people are afraid of July and August, but those are generally coastal walks. So yeah, it could be quite hot, but if you're on the coast, there's always some breeze. Remember, it's the Atlantic coast, it's not the Mediterranean. So the Atlantic has fresher water and it's cooler weather as well. So the most popular, I repeat, is spring and fall, but I always been with the family in July and August, and it was not a big deal on those coastal ways. Type of tour, well, we offer 2 type of tour. Guided is good, it's fun. You're with a guide, you're with a group. It's nice, and it's not big groups. We do a maximum of 14, 15 people. So it's not a big group. It's not a problem of being on the top of each other because there's plenty of spaces on the Camino. But if you just want to do it yourself, most of our tours are self-guided. So on a self-guided, we book your accommodation and we're going to transfer your luggage every day, and you're going to do the walk following our GPS maps and the ebooks that we provide with general information about the Camino and what to see, what to do. So it's also all the Caminos are very well marked, so it's virtually impossible to get lost. Otherwise, we have also a 24/7 telephone number for your support. Next year is a special year. It's the Holy Year. So what does it mean? When the 25th of July falls on a Sunday, it's a special year. The 25th of July is the day of St. James. So it happens every few years, and that's about 11 years that it hasn't happened. So there's going to be a lot of celebration, hopefully, in Santiago de Compostela this year. So it's very sick for by the people and pilgrims. So that's pretty much it for my presentation today. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. I wanted to keep it short and sweet today. So I hope you enjoy this presentation. You can email us at info@CaminoWays.com or go to the website CaminoWays.com for more information. There is about 900 pages of blogs, information, tip, ebooks, etc. So I'm going to cut off and happy to get your email going. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.